Darkcast Network. Out of the shadows comes the best of indie podcasts.
Welcome to the J Squared Horror Podcast, where two lifelong horror fans talk all things horror. Pour yourself your favorite drink and hang out. Here are your hosts, Josh and Jake.
Hey guys, welcome to the J Squared Horror Podcast. I'm Josh.
And I'm Jake.
And on today's episode, what movie are we going to be discussing?
We are discussing 2023's Dark Harvest, directed by David Slade.
This is a 2023 movie that I think was straight to streaming. I don't think it had any theatrical release.
I never heard of it until you brought it up.
Nope, me neither. And it is available on Amazon Prime for your watching pleasures. So if this is one of the ones that you wanted to check out before you watched our episode on it, or listened to our episode on it, go check it out. It's on Amazon Prime. Is that how you watched it as well?
Yeah, it is.
So you guys know where to check it out. Before we get into this movie, Dark Harvest, what would we like to let anyone new to our podcast know?
Before we get into the mood, don't forget to always like and subscribe on YouTube.
Pretty, please.
Also find us on Spotify.
We're on there.
We're on Apple.
We are.
Google?
I don't know. Let's just stop saying it at this point.
All right. Spotify, Apple, check it out. Also, but always, Instagram.
Yes.
J Squared Horror Podcast. Link tree in the bio. New episodes every Thursday.
Every single Thursday, two lifelong horror fans decide to get together. We drink and we talk all things horror.
We do.
With this podcast, we like to open up full lines of communication with our fans and different people throughout the horror realm and do a conversation-based podcast. This isn't information-based at all. We just like to talk shit and drink and watch and enjoy horror. So if that's at all interests you, please check out our podcast, stick along, comment, anything that you want to hear. If you want to find an easy way to either be on the podcast or to request an episode, you can go to www.jsquaredhorrorpodcast.com. Website super easily navigatable. I think that's a good way to say that. You can find all the links and buttons to press to find a way to contact us and be a part of the J Squared Horror Podcast. What I'd also like to mention real quickly is we are a part of the Darkcast Network. Give it up for the Darkcast Network, everyone.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
They are an amazing podcasting network with podcasts out of this world, including us and many true crime, independent, dark, and wild podcasts. We release episodes every Thursday, as you guys already know, and they release all sorts of different podcasts all week long. So if you're bored and you want to listen to something awesome, find another podcast to enjoy during the week, please go check out the Darkcast Network. They have been super supportive of us, so we would like our fans to go and support them. And they actually shared us today on their page.
Did they?
We were the Shot It Out podcast, so if anybody's coming from there, thanks for checking us out. Big shout out to the Darkcast Network. All right. Now, I saw this as like a random TikTok or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was one of those moments where I was scrolling on some form of social media. I saw a short little clip, immediately texted you, was like, hey, bro, we've been struggling finding stuff to talk about lately. How would you go check it out? You went and watched the trailer, I take it?
I did, yeah.
And you seemed pretty excited.
I was.
All right. So if you guys do the same thing, you'll be as excited as Jake was to get into the Dark Harvest.
My interest was piqued.
Yes, I mentioned that last week when he sent me the Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah. Have you checked it out yet?
I haven't, because you told me I wasn't allowed to, because you were going to joke me for not being a part of the original people that watched it. So
check it out.
Fuck you.
Start at season 1, though.
Of course I will. That's how I start everything with season 1. But Dark Harvest, when you watch the preview or when you look into it, you get this kind of crazy vibe of something you might not have ever seen before. And that's what piqued my interest
the
most. I was kind of watching it, real small farm town. Usually in those situations, it's more alien-based than anything. A lot of those cornfields and stuff.
Sure, yeah.
That's usually the vibe you're getting, especially from like Signs, Interstellar, spacey shit, and you're like, okay. Some of the things that just off of visually that I was excited for most was Sawtooth Jack. I thought that he looked kind of cool. And then also that it kind of gave you that 50s, 60s vibe. And that's like one of my favorite eras.
Yeah, so I guess monster, I guess you could say.
Sawtooth Jack.
Sawtooth Jack.
Thank you. Put some respect on his name.
He reminded me of, you ever seen Pumpkinhead?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't seen it. I know of
We know what he looks like. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Pumpkinhead.
Yeah.
And the movie itself reminded me of like The Purge.
Yeah.
Had like a Remember the Titans vibe to
it. That's actually valid, man. That's valid.
And I was like, fuck yeah, I'm in.
So one thing I wanted to do on this episode in particular, because I kind of struggle with this. I know we've over 100 episodes in. I should have figured out better ways to be a host. And you're the world's greatest host. So, just trying to match your energy of epicness. I'm just going to read the synopsis of the movie.
Yeah.
So everybody can have their picture painted, whether they want to go check out the trailer, if they want to go check out the movie, or do what a lot of our fans do and just listen to us talk about it and, go from there.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it does a pretty good job of painting the overall picture. And I don't know, it's exciting. So it says, in a small Midwestern town, a deadly annual ritual unfolds when the mythical nightmare Sawtooth Jack rises from the cornfields and challenges the town's teenage boys in a bloody battle of survival. That is a pretty good synopsis of this movie.
I would agree.
Now, like Jake has already mentioned, it does give you Purge vibes. It also gives you CW vibes. If any of you know what I'm talking about, you'll know exactly what the fuck I mean. The acting is not perfect, but it does a good enough job to where you can enjoy this movie.
Yeah, you can.
From start to finish, even with some of those great actors and actresses and the sub actors and actresses, because it all kind of evens out once you get into it. So there's nothing wrong. It's not quite as bad as like soap opera acting. I won't give it that. But for some reason, the CW pops into my mind. A lot of the like cinematography reminded me of like Smallville,
I agree with that.
Yeah, dude. And it's like, for me, that was exciting. Smallville was like one of my favorite Superman things ever.
I remember like in middle school, high school.
Yeah.
Watching Smallville all the time.
It was a long time ago for us.
Yeah.
But hell, like coming out of middle school into high school, maybe.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Yeah.
Like definitely some years ago for us, but it is fine. There's not a lot of bad stuff. Some corny CGI here or there. But it does start off very well. It piques your interest right out the gate because I'm pretty sure it starts in the hunt of Sawtooth Jack.
Yeah, it starts
year prior to the events.
The previous year.
Yeah.
And what I like most about it is you can tell, I guess, a period piece. You can tell it takes place in the 60s.
Yeah, it's definitely that greaser,
Yeah, you can tell from
whole vibe.
The plastic map, the string on the back they're wearing. It's very, I guess, accurate, I would think, to that era.
Yeah, very accurate depiction of era and very accurate depiction of town and like what they are. And the one cool thing that I liked about the intro of this is it kind of focuses on this guy that ain't got jack shit to do with shit, and he dies immediately.
Yeah.
Off-screen kill, yes.
Which I was okay with.
I'm okay with that because it leaves you the interest of what Sawtooth Jack is capable of in what we know when it shows a year later.
Yeah, I like
we're going to get into that.
When you see him like a quick flash.
Yes.
You see like a silhouette.
Off in the distance.
You kind of see him a little bit, but not enough.
Yep. And then it gives you everything. It paints the picture of what this whole ritual is.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay. I'm intrigued. I'm interested. Because a lot of times in movie, because you can question the fact of if this if this is horror or not based on the synopsis. Now, it is Sawtooth Jack, who is a monster. So right there you have a monster flick. But it's more of a curse and like kind of like The Village.
Yeah.
Of just like you find out throughout the movie that this is just so that they can keep their way of life.
Yeah.
Which is an interesting concept.
When you look it up, it's a horror fantasy.
Okay, horror fantasy. Yes. Okay.
But I do like the aspect of, you find out, like you said later in the movie, there's the reason why he is a thing.
Yeah.
Is to keep the community thriving.
Yeah.
And continuing to be able to give out these free Corvettes and big houses to families.
It's like a deal with the devil.
Yeah. That's exactly.
It's a deal with the devil in order to keep a thriving community thriving.
That actually is a perfect analogy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So right there, it really brings in us horror fiends. You know, anybody that can look past some of the plot points of like love story, family drama, and some of course, most horror films are gonna have some of that in it. I'm not saying it doesn't, but this one, because it only happens one night out of the year, which ironically is Halloween. You know, we love a Halloween night-based horror flick.
Yes, we do.
But it does. You have to have some of that town drama, the bullying, the not as popular people, the people that maybe shouldn't be a part of what they call the run. So the run is
what I like about that, like you said, it takes place on Halloween.
Yes,
but it starts you a few days prior to
5 days,
so you can get that quick character background.
Yep.
You can find out who won it before.
Yep.
Their relation to them, how the community feels about the whole run aspect.
Yes.
So it builds up to that moment. So to me, it means more when it happens.
Yeah, and also it what's really cool is this is like a specific for the teenage males of this town.
Yeah, females can't do it.
Females can't do it, and the prior year's winners' siblings cannot participate.
And you find out why later.
You do find out why later, but it almost seems like a continuation of the reward. Because as they say when they're talking about this run, because the police officer in like a pep rally is talking to these group of boys and is like, some of your friends are going to die. Then you're like, oh, okay. Like some of the people in this room ain't going to make it. And you got that from the first scene. You know that if you get surprised by Sawtooth Jack, there is a 99% chance that you're going to get killed. It's the people that can continue on or to surprise or to be more athletic, blah, 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 whatever the reason is that you do what you do in order to win. So that's where it brings in the purge aspect, because what they do to these boys is fucking insanity. So I mentioned this particular cut happens 5 days. That's an important number before Halloween.
Yeah.
Because it's 2 days prior to the 3-day lockdown that they put every single person that is participating in the run on.
So they were going fucking insane during that lockdown period. So the whole gym scene reminded me or made me think of like going to war.
Yeah, it gave you World War II, or Vietnam.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
You're going to get drafted. You're going to probably die.
The people you're sitting with aren't all going to make it.
Yeah, there's a good chance a select few of you are going to die, but there are heroes amongst you that will victor. And that, for that time era, like that era of the American people, is like a driving fucking factor.
True.
Like, if you think back to the mentality of like the love for America, the love for your towns, the love for your people, that shit don't exist anymore. This movie couldn't happen in 2024.
True, and that's why that time period was perfect.
It was
60s.
fucking perfect.
It's JFK as president, the Cuban Missile Crisis, the whole shit. Because the guy, when he first opened, he's dressed, his costume is John F. Kennedy.
John F. Kennedy, yeah.
All that pride for America, and it's like, it plays perfect. That's a very good point.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. It's not only a horror movie. It's not only a town drama. It's not only a family drama. It is a political and American drama because of how much this movie came out in 2023.
Yeah.
that ain't the way the world was.
No.
You can't do it post 9/11.
Yeah.
No, maybe right after. I'd say my Alexa's just talking.
I heard 9/11.
You can't do it past the 2010s.
Alert.
They're like these traitors. Getting canceled by Alexa, everyone. No, you can't do it past 2010, I'd say. That's when the world kind of really, especially post-COVID, geez, the world has changed significantly. And for whatever reason it is, we don't get into politics here on the podcast, but it is important to mention that we both honestly feel like this era was perfect to do a movie like this because of that pride, because of that mentality of you can be the hero. You know, you can be the one that makes the difference.
You can be here for your home.
20 of you can die, but you did it for a cause.
And they always tell
a cause that you believe in.
They tell them the person that wins, you're going to go down in history. You're going to always be remembered.
The statues, the pride, the acknowledgments, the posters, everybody knows your name. And throughout the movie, you know, it's the main character's brother that won the year prior. And
so when they first started, I thought he was a fucking lunatic. And this was some type of like underground. When you first watch it, to me at least, it seems like the town is either like possessed by something or because they start like digging into whatever that thing was.
Sawtooth
Jack. And initially you can tell it's candy.
Yeah, you're very
like straw and shit.
At first, it looked like they pulled out a corn heart.
But the way, like, the way
I was like, this dude's made of corn.
The way they look, like, dude, they're like fucking just like rabid animals.
You find out why.
Yeah, they haven't eaten,
but it's intense.
It's very intense.
Very intense because once you defeat Sawtooth Jack, he's like a piñata. He's full of candy, and these kids haven't eaten in 3 days.
That's so weird to me.
It's a very weird concept.
It doesn't like cut off and turn to like just like a scarecrow in essence.
Yeah, that's some of the issues that I have with this movie. Is that Sawtooth Jack, and like how they're gonna make us believe that that's what it is, and like how exactly it works. There's some magic behind it.
It looks like it's a scarecrow.
It's a pumpkin-headed scarecrow.
You see the guy
zombie
put the pumpkin on the thing.
Yeah, it's an evil creation. I will say that it is. I think it's legitimately built out of fear and hate.
So my question with that is, because you get into it later, you find out the brother is that current carnation of.
When you find out that's what's going on, the year prior's winner is the current Sawtooth Jack.
How does that happen? Because you can see him making the scarecrow. Are they using the prior winner's body?
Yeah.
It's
a possessed corpse that the evil entity needs to inhabit.
Okay.
In order to attack the town. I don't think it's 100% the body. It's a creation. It's a vessel.
Yeah, because you find out later on he notices this is his brother because of the belt buckle, I think.
It's the same Corvette belt buckle that he had, that he got taken by the bullies.
So it's got to be that person's physical body.
It's their physical body, yes. And I think it does have some lingering memory of it because this Sawtooth Jack, we actually get to see roaming the town. Yeah. He goes to his old house. He burns it down.
Yeah.
He sees stuff written that reminds him of him.
Yeah, things he said or whatever.
Things he said. So I feel like there is a bit of soul that is left with that body, which isn't the most far-fetched thing we've ever gotten.
He turns the gun on himself too, so.
Yeah. In the very end, yeah. I think there's bits and pieces of soul and memory left, but it is a vessel of a corpse that they create to bring on this evil that is the town destroyer.
Yeah. Which, when you think about it, makes more sense to why you can't have siblings.
Yeah, because you don't want them to realize the attributes.
Or for that person to, in that moment, realize this is my sister or my brother.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah.
Kill them.
Yeah. They want it to be as easy of a transition between Sawtooth Jack and Sawtooth Jack as humanly possible.
You're a fucking rando to them.
Yeah. And, what's crazy, the other thing that kind of confuses me is Sawtooth Jack reacting to people trying to kill it? Or is it purely evil and just killing?
So, in my mind...
That was a question I really wanted to ask you. Based on...
So, they talk about...
the entire movie.
Him having to get to the church.
Yeah. If he gets to the church prior to midnight, the curse is in effect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, in my mind, I thought, well... It's more so him knowing his destination. And anyone who will get in his way of getting there, he just has to kill.
Got you. Okay.
But I also thought maybe if he gets there, he'll turn back into human form. But you find out that's not a possibility. But
yeah.
That was my thought. So, yeah, I don't think it's him just... He has somewhere to be.
Yeah. He has a mission.
He knows the time.
Before midnight.
He's got to get there. If you're
it's like Michael Myers, November 1st don't fucking matter.
Yeah.
October 31st is all that fucking matters.
On the first look, I'm done. Let me go hide somewhere or something. I'll be back next year.
But, what's interesting to me, though, is it almost seems like right out the gate, it doesn't realize that it's who it is. Because the original group of the bandits, as they're so called, with their awesome matching denim jackets. I'm a fan of my denim.
I like their denim and I love their mask.
Masks, denim, hair, sign me up. I'm a bandit, bro.
The mask stuck out to me in the trailer.
Yeah.
So I couldn't wait to see it.
As soon as they dropped that skeleton mask down, I was in. And then I got the pompadours. I got the the 60s greaser look. That's something I've always tried to pull off. Maybe I don't. Maybe I do.
I think you do well with it.
You guys have seen my multiple denim things that I rock. But it is cool. But my thing was that brother would have obviously known the little brother's friends. So to me, I think you're right. It's purely mission based. And then it got sidetracked once. Mike, I can't remember. This is my fault. So correct me or navigate me correctly here.
Okay.
Does he go to the house after seeing his brother, or does he go to the house prior? When he goes to the east side or west side, I can't remember. I think it's west. And he burns down the house. Wasn't that post the brother realizing that he was wearing the belt buckle? So did the fact that he saw, maybe that's why you can't have a sibling participate. Because that little bit of soul that's left in Sawtooth Jack then gets triggered as to being like, oh, this is who I am.
If I remember correctly, it is post seeing his brother.
So I honestly...
And he goes back to, their old house?
Their old house, yeah, because they were in the hood.
Yeah.
They're the poorer part of town prior to winning, because you get the house, you get the car, you get the money, blah, blah, blah. So I was confused coming out of the movie and being like, well, wouldn't every Sawtooth Jack do that? Well, I guess not, because you can't have a sibling remind you of who you are.
True.
I think it was that look in the brother's eyes, because all he does is smack him. Everybody else he's come in contact with,
he's killed.
He has brutally murdered.
Yeah. So when he comes across his brother or the girl he's with, he just smacks her away too.
But also that plays into it as well, because there are rules: no women, no siblings.
Yeah,
that was both, and that was not only a woman, but it was the woman your sibling is into. And you can pick up on social cues, demon or not.
Sure.
It's an interesting take on why that Sawtooth went on a little side mission.
I agree.
Because the original one seemed like he was just pwned into the church. He had mission at 101 and he was locked in.
Yeah, and I guess my thought process, if you know that's the end game, just wait for him there.
Which
no one has to die in between.
Yeah, but you want to be the winner. So if you're sitting around waiting until he gets to the church, 12 other people had an opportunity to beat him.
It could be anybody, yeah.
Yeah.
And
So I think that's, but if you notice, there were 2 or 3 people that were doing that exact plan.
Yeah.
They were hanging out at the church and then they murked off.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the reason. There was a particular reason.
Yeah.
That the guards of the church ran off.
Yeah, because the original one you see, there's the entire town's right there.
The entire town's there, but the brother was chasing him down and had the drop on him.
Yeah.
It's interesting. And it would be like, you know, what? Fuck. Would you be...
Would I partake in the run?
Well, all right, say we're both 16.
Okay.
Right? This is the 60s.
Yeah.
We're both fairly athletic individuals.
Yeah.
I think we both were in our youth.
At 16, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
100%. Yeah.
I can run down anything at 16.
Yeah.
We know each other as well as we do now.
Okay.
Right? We do the bandit theory of we know we got to be first on this.
Yeah.
We don't have any sibling connections. We're in the run 100% legitimately.
Okay. Yeah.
What is our plan of? Are you coming up with the plan of action? Am I coming up with the plan of action? And how would we go about it based on what we already both fucking know because we got an advantage by watching the movie? But what do you think? How do you think we would both go about it?
So I thought about that very question. I would be the guy
I'm stuck.
who runs home to his mom. It's like, Mom, I can't do this. Let me in. I know. I would. Once I seen, because we didn't mention earlier, the kills that happened. A dude gets fucking split in half.
Well,
The other dude who's just running.
gets his axe right through the face.
The thing had an axe.
Something had a blade of some sort.
And it just held it out.
Yeah. Well, it timed its run past perfectly.
Yeah. So I think it just heard them running. All right, here it is.
It just held up something sharp.
Which makes me think, too, back to it being a part just a real person.
Yeah, that's valid.
But, yeah, once I saw that, I am out.
All right, but it would just be me and you. So who, you know, what's our game plan? You're just running home to mommy out the gate? No.
It's okay. It's down to just me and you.
It's me and you planning on taking on Sawtooth Jack. How do we do it? What's our game plan? Do we run out to the cornfield first and try to get him at home, or do we do something else?
Okay, first of all, we're not using the cornfield because that's home court advantage for him.
Yeah, dude.
We're not doing that.
Horrible idea.
Yeah. Like that make no sense to me.
Dude, when I was watching, it's crazy. I wasn't watching this. I was watching something else with Mallory. But we were watching something, and I was like, the person in question was in a corn maze.
Okay.
And I was like, for some reason, we were talking about the height and like, can you see through a corn maze? And I was like, well, they're not that. You just walk through them. They're not actually mazes. You can't really get lost in a corn maze.
Yeah. You can walk straight right through it to get out.
You just follow the corn.
Yeah.
And then I was like, hold on. I'm 6'2". The person in question we found out was 5'10". And I was like, well, how fucking tall are corn stalks? 8 foot. Your average corn stalk is 8 foot.
You can't see over it.
Exactly. That's my point. We're both tall dudes.
Sure.
We're above the average of height for males.
We are.
Even when we were that age. I was every bit of 5'11".
Sure. I was about 6 foot, maybe 6'1".
Yeah, I was 5'11", pushing 6 foot come that age group. So yeah. We're on the taller spectrum of individuals. You have zero visibility in corn. And like you said, it's his home court. We both know how that works.
Yeah, so you're not going there.
We're not going there. But you also know the corn maze leads to the corn leads to the church.
You show the overhead shot.
The overhead shot is road,
you can beeline
corn,
right to it.
Church. So as long as you're on the other side of the corn, you
good.
basically have first dibs.
So I would also keep a vehicle.
That was smart.
They gave him a hard time by having one. You can't use that. You're cheating.
Yeah.
Who the fuck said that?
Yeah. The only rules are you got to kill them and you can't eat for 3 days.
Yeah, he didn't say how I had to kill him.
Yeah.
Or how I had to get to him. So I'd keep the car, avoid the maze or the cornfield at all costs. My plan would be maybe a block, 2 blocks away from the church. Because,
sorry,
you know, realistically, with all the men or the young men they have to use, trying to catch them too far prior to the church, you're fucked. You're not going to make it. You're not
Even the guy that won the year prior chased him through it.
Yeah.
And then got to basically the church.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you know that's the end game.
So we know it's the end game. We're waiting outside. We just communicate through a certain few blocks away. So my thought would be, you're the driver.
Yeah.
You're in the vehicle.
1,000%.
We just
That's Sawtooth Jack.
we just draw them out to a certain extent. You fucking hit the gas and do what you gotta do.
He got hit already though.
True.
In this movie,
When they got hit, they were all in the car and didn't react. If I'm already outside the car,
Yeah.
and you hit,
You keep an eye on where he goes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
and we know where he's going to. He's not gonna go back to the corn maze.
No.
He's pushing forward no matter what. We hit him. We slow him down for a second. But what sucks is knowing what the end game is. But actually, they don't know.
Yeah, we wouldn't know the end game.
Once you kill him, then you know.
We wouldn't know that.
Yeah.
And like, what's the bipartisanship of a joint kill? You know, who gets the dub?
Because
If I hit him and then you kill him, that means you get the dub.
it would go to me.
Yeah.
We saw that at the end.
Yeah. But also, I firmly believe in the Home Alone theory. Or like the 300 theory.
Of what?
I'm going to get the advantage because, A, this is my town.
Yeah.
I know this is going to happen.
But it's also his town.
Yeah, but also that whole block idea that you have, I'm cool with. I don't negate that.
Okay.
I just wouldn't necessarily use a vehicle.
What would you use?
Traps, booby traps. I'm a booby trap guy.
You use traps.
I would use Home Alone stuff
Okay.
for sure.
Now it's the 60s, so we can like
Yeah, just duct tape,
or use like
nails,
duct tape,
wood,
firecrackers,
shit like that.
bear traps and shit.
Get the gun like they did. There's definitely theories that could work. And there's no rule against how you kill them.
True.
It's just a matter of killing them first.
I feel like the car would at least slow him down enough.
It would, but you run the risk of the surprise factor. And because you're in such a negated adrenaline state, because you're so hungry, you're so desperate to win, I feel like once we hit, I think we would react the same way. Like, there's no chance.
Well, I think also...
And then if you see some candy on the ground, you're not going to stop and eat it? Dude, we haven't eaten in 3 days.
There is that human element, too, to the... What's it? Sawtooth Jack?
Sawtooth Jack, yeah.
Okay, as well.
He
He sees the headlights.
Yeah.
He's going to stop.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The second he stops, nail his ass right then.
Yeah, I don't question my abilities to hit.
But also, I feel like... So when you see the food aspect, he doesn't throw candy.
No, he loses candy because he got hit by a car.
Yeah.
His innards opened.
But when the dude's brother and then pull up in that truck, he had like cornbread or something.
He got the muffins or the cupcakes from his mom.
Yeah. So he tosses that food, gets them distracted.
Yeah.
But also, as you look at, I guess, so not knowing what happens to you later on.
Yeah, we have no clue what happens.
How important would it be to you to get that kill?
Pretty important. Yeah.
100% important.
Yeah.
Okay.
Based on the town and like the pride, yeah, I think it would be. I put myself in that era, yeah.
But I do think that we would probably pick up. If let's say we're 13, we start hearing about people doing the whole run.
Yeah.
Now we're 16. 3 years in, we're going to realize, hey, people who win, we never see again.
Well, they just leave town because it's fucked. That's been my whole thought this whole movie.
Really?
Yeah, I thought they just didn't come back because the town is so fucked up. Like, why would you come back to a town that you have to murder something in order for it to survive? I wouldn't come back. I killed. I won. I did my part.
I mean, yeah.
I thought that they legitimately just try. It's like the Hollywood effect, So many people moved west to Hollywood to try to get stardom. It's the same theory. You have a Corvette. You have notoriety. They make you believe you have notoriety leaving because they say go share this with the world. Basically, the world doesn't know what the fuck's going on in this town.
So you're going to
leave.
Anyway.
Well, you don't. But even if you did, you're going to realize you're nobody. You don't want to go back to nothing and killing
Yeah.
And, it's the, 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other. It's like, do I want to go back as a hero of this town that I realize you have to fucking kill to survive in? Like, what if I don't like the next generation of kids coming through, and I now know that I moved back to a town that's going to be plagued with a fucking famine. Then what? At least I know if I'm in fucking Hollywood, I ain't got to deal with that.
Sure.
This whole time I was watching the movie, I didn't even for a second think that that's what was going on, honestly.
Really?
No, I didn't pick up on it until the belt buckle, like most people. And I was like, oh shit, that's why they never came back.
So something about it kind of gave me that idea, because the fact that you see Sawtooth Jack isn't someone who's like goes away and comes back. He's manually like created by something. By someone.
Yeah, I thought it was just like a scarecrow.
That comes to life.
Yeah. That's all I really thought.
In essence, he is.
Yeah, well, but you just didn't realize it was the corpse of the year prior's winner. That did throw me for a loop. I will admit.
I don't see why you have to kill them though.
Some of that part didn't make sense to me either. But
yeah, so you kill them, you bury their body for a fucking year.
Yeah, I'm not a Sawtooth Jack expert.
Or 360 days, because you have days prior to you see him making them.
He's making them, yeah. You pull them out 360 days.
You dig him up at night and you hang his body up there. So I guess the head is gone.
No, it's in the pumpkin.
Is it?
Yeah, because when they shoot it, you can kind of see the brothers. It's like the Darth Vader effect.
Oh.
Yeah.
I did not notice that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you see a little bit of human underneath that pumpkin that really fucked with the younger brother.
So do you think if they make it back to the church, they turn back? Is that a possibility?
No. I don't know what happens, and I kind of wish that's how this one would have ended. But
I think the brother thought that. He's trying to get him there so fucking bad.
Yeah. I also just think he wanted it to be over. The whole Sawtooth Jack thing. What's crazy is the one fun part I wanted to mention was you ever watch Sons of Anarchy?
No.
Okay.
I know it is. I never watched it.
There's a character in there called Bobby.
Okay.
He's a chunkier biker. He's the meat shop owner.
Okay.
That murders 4 teens in cold blood.
Okay.
At no point in this movie did it say that the adults could protect their food at all costs.
Okay.
Meaning, Sawtooth Jack got some kills. That motherfucker got some kills. It's crazy to think that this old fuck, who clearly never won this here race, this here run, had the audacity to say that my meat and you having to be hungry is worth your life. And what's crazy is my girlfriend's reaction to that scene was insane.
The guy guarding the meat shop?
Yeah. And just laying down kids with a shotgun. And then also how some of the kids would just fucking kill each other.
That's what gave me that purge feeling.
That's what I'm saying. Like, the purge aspect of this movie is fucking intense.
That's like when the dude said he was the winner.
He's like, I'm going to win. And the dude walks up to him with a hatchet.
Yeah.
And splits his fucking head. Hey, cheers to that, buddy. Yeah. Mallory's reaction to that was a visceral, verbal gasp.
Really?
I was on the couch chilling. She said, and I was like, "What? Did I miss something?" I think that her more than us for sure cares about the innocence of the world.
Yeah, I'm not concerned with it.
I'm pretty broken at this point. But
what
what was cool about that is a legitimate moment of 2 horror fans.
Yeah.
With completely opposite reactions to a just normal, in this movie, a normal scene.
2 characters you don't even know.
People that you don't give a shit about.
Yeah.
But
you've never seen prior to this moment right now.
It's none of these people deserve to be dying. In my head, I'm like, everybody can die.
Yeah. You signed up for this.
Because I get in the purge mentality.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, they did sign up for this.
Everybody just living there did.
They know what the run is.
You know what the run is. And also, he's trying to protect not only his store and his money, but also the rage of those kids. But you know that you're up against a battle there.
Okay, yeah. Let's go a low number. 15 teenagers.
Yeah.
And you're fucked every time.
He got the brick to the head.
Yeah. They beat the shit out of
Like,
him.
did that scene affect you at all?
No.
Obviously it didn't. You seemed shocked that I was even bringing it up.
He was also a meaningless character. Who cares?
Yeah, no, I agree. You didn't even know his name.
Yeah.
Just meat shop clerk,
Meat man.
But it was crazy to, witness her reaction to then our, I know you weren't there, but our reaction to that scene.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to mention it, because I was like, am I just broken? Do I consume that much horror and fucked up shit? And, she lives off of fucking true crime and shit. So, like,
True.
your mentality should be everybody's a terrible piece of shit.
What her thoughts are on Leatherface and how he just kills randos for meat and all that kind of stuff.
We shall find out.
Yeah, we shall.
No, I just wanted to. I just want to sneak that scene in there for you. Another crazy thing I want to mention real quickly. How'd you feel about the family dynamic and the fucked upness of that family? Also, sidebar, real quickly. I thought this was a Mike Flanagan film for 10 seconds because I saw the wife, the mother, who is an active character in a lot of Mike Flanagan stuff, but the dad looked like the kid from E.T. from one scene, dude. I was like, Flanagan!
It's funny you say that. I'm not sure if they were at the table
At the dinner table? Yes, before the run.
I was like, is that?
Yeah.
Oh, it's not. Okay.
Do you want to know something hilarious?
What?
Mallory sits up and is like, who directed this? And I was like, wasn't Flanagan. She was like, I thought for sure. And I was like, nah.
I will 100% agree with that.
Yeah, I was like, that's not who this is. And then I saw a scene later and I was like, that's not even him.
Yeah.
It looked like him from an angle, but it's definitely not him.
So the mom character, I did not fuck with.
Yeah.
I guess she was super drugged up, which could be what the Harvest people give her to. They see a woman as a weaker. Take this, and you'll be super happy and positive, and blah blah blah.
It's the 60s.
Yeah, was a feel on that.
60s, yeah.
The dad was a pussy.
Yep.
And my thought is, and like the cop says to him, that cop character, a lot of overacting with him.
Yeah, he was the worst actor for sure.
Over the top.
Yeah.
He's running and tells him, "You have one job.
One job. Just shut your little bitch ass kid up."
Yeah.
Yeah.
We say you're worthless or a piece of shit son.
Yeah. Keep your piece of shit son locked up
away
for a night.
Problem solved. You couldn't even fucking do that.
Nope.
So when the brother catches on to what's going on, is questioning his mom, I probably wouldn't have pushed her so far. I think it's been a year since your brother left. You've noticed a change in your mom.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have questioned her so hard. Just me. But the dad, grill his ass.
Yeah, I would have been on the dad's.
He knows what's going on. He's fighting too hard to have you not be in it for a reason.
As soon as I saw him at the other house trying to get the gun, I would have known exactly what was going on.
Yeah.
The other thing I wanted to ask you is, how'd you feel about the, love story?
I was cool with it.
Good. Do you feel like it was a reach? Do you feel like it was it added a good amount of chemistry and defiance to a movie like this? Yeah,
that's a very good question. Actually,
because it bodes well to the son's whole identity.
It does.
That he would choose.
Yeah. Was it needed? 100% no.
Yes.
Does it make sense for the time period in the 60s? 100% yes.
Yeah.
You see how other people, they don't say it directly.
Nobody said it directly.
Except the one guy calls her a Negro that one time. But outside of that, no really comment. Even the dad's cool with it.
Yeah.
He knows wishes there. The mom, he's fine with it too. It does play well into his character type.
Yes.
So to me, I was okay with it. Also, you find out she's a fucking lunatic too.
Yeah. She's crazy as shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because when they first say she burned down someone's barn or this mother shit,
in the mine.
She denies it immediately. But as she's talking to him and she feels that comfort level with him, she admits to doing it.
Yeah, 37 seconds later.
And he doesn't even
Doesn't bat an eye.
Yeah.
Flinch, yeah. You know, being that I'm not a bigot, it is really cool that that's how they chose to also show his pure defiance of this town.
Yeah. Also, what I liked is you can't make a period piece like this and not acknowledge that part of history at all.
You kind of have to.
Yeah.
You have to.
But
the way they did it,
they didn't go over with it, which was good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
They didn't pull some fucking 1,000 Maniacs or whatever that shit was called that we.
Oh, yeah. 2000
Maniacs.
2001 Maniacs.
Yeah. 2001 Maniacs. Yeah, I did think it was interesting because it started as so innocent of just him noticing her at the movie theater, then it just blossoming from there, which is A-okay with me, but I did want to see how you felt about it. And then, with the period piece, I wanted to make sure it wasn't distasteful.
Not at all.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I want
to make sure I was looking at it properly.
I love the fact that they're at they're back at the school or a dance or something. They're somewhere.
Oh, they're at the night dance.
Where they both know in that moment. I think when he asked her to run away with him, he knows we're not going to make it.
Yeah, I think they both knew
Both
that
of us
this
are
was
not going to go.
full send.
But if we're going to go, fuck it, let's go.
Let's go together and let's till the wheels fall off.
Yeah.
And I thought it was cool because unfortunately, as well as they planned and as smart as they both were,
yeah,
it didn't pan out.
So the one thing for me that takes away from this movie is not knowing the origin
Yes.
of Sawtooth Jack
Yes.
and knowing who the people are directly behind it happening.
I think it leaves a very strong prequel.
Unless there's a prequel or a fucking... All we know, this could be a prequel or something else for all we know.
It's based on a book.
I think...
It says it. Caleb mentioned it.
He did mention
But at the beginning of the movie, it also was his best-selling novel based on.
So I personally need a part 2. I need to find out her getting away and...
I would like Origins versus that.
Would you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because she gets away.
We don't know that for a fact.
Nobody's there to stop her.
We all think everyone prior to the end gets away in the Corvette. We don't know.
Yeah, but I feel like it bodes well to kind of with what they were going with here. How do you push the envelope of a mid 50s to early 60s based drama piece than to have all the whites not make it, but who?
True.
I feel like it's about as good as you could have ended this one.
If it is a prequel, piece, how far into the future do you want it to be? Like just the 50s? We're talking the 20s?
Like how far back do I want to know?
How
Sawtooth
far
Jack?
back? Yeah, exactly.
Origins. Like when they talked about when they talked about that fail, I would want that.
Okay.
That leads into them then succeeding. And you start to piece it together.
The fail was the cop or whatever. Like
the cop when he was 9 or whatever.
So that's what,
Could have been
40s?
40 years ago.
Yeah. So it's not
30
it's
years
not
ago.
too far back.
No.
Okay.
I'm not talking about like 1900s.
Yeah, I don't want that.
God, no. With fucking horse and buggies? No, dude.
Because to me,
there's enough weird shit that happened back then.
That would take me out of it and make no sense to
me. Give me like right before the mob was created.
Yeah, this needs,
there.
In my mind, Jack is a farmer in the area, and for whatever reason, something happened. To me,
kill him.
They kill him
because they feel like he didn't do his crops well enough.
Yeah. So in my mind, it gives me like a
Pennywise,
almost a Pennywise origin.
Yeah.
With almost like a Candyman.
Yeah.
Origin.
Yeah. Both. Yeah. Yeah, because it's not 27 years, but once a year.
Once a year.
Which gives you a lot.
True.
More regular.
Yeah.
Freakiness.
And just knowing maybe the origin of the Jack farmer being killed.
Yeah. Whatever happened there with that.
It could be like a love interest. Could be anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It could be like Holes,
Yeah.
Very derivative off of that as well.
Holes, yeah.
Yeah. Not horror, but, we were doing horror pretty well. until I said holes.
Boom, holes.
Is there any bits or pieces that I might have missed that you enjoyed that you haven't mentioned yet? Or
No, nothing I can think of.
Well?
No. What about you?
No, I feel like I covered everything pretty well.
Okay.
The two big questions I asked. All right, man. Well, then on a scale.
Ooh.
Yeah, here we go. Get ready, ladies and gentlemen. On a scale from 1 to 10, what do you rate Dark Harvest from
On a scale
2023?
1 to 10, Dark Harvest to me is a 6.5.
Wow. Okay.
Now to me that's high, but
yeah,
6.5. The only reason why I drop it down, so there's a couple of things. One, not knowing the origin story.
Yeah.
Two, the movie ended too abruptly to me. And that's my one complaint with hour-and-a-half horror movies.
Yeah.
The first hour and 20 can be great, but they run out of time.
Like me.
They run out of time, and they crunch the end in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
That's exactly what happens in the
add up. Exactly. It doesn't make sense at all.
Yeah.
So some of the acting was kind of like the copy was too much for me.
Yeah,
And I honestly didn't like the look of Sawtooth Jack.
Yeah, very CGI.
Yeah. What about you?
On a scale from 1 to 10, I was going to give it a 7.
Okay.
But I do agree with you on that last bit where you talk about the rushed ending.
Yeah.
But I'm going to stick to my guns. That's what I came into this episode with. But I do give you a nod on that. And I would technically drop it down a little bit if I had thought about that prior.
Yeah.
But I didn't. They needed to pace the ending a little bit better post Sawtooth Jack dying and then what happens at the very end. Also, just maybe use less time talking about the run and then use more of the ending to explain how Sawtooth Jack becomes with the whole burial of the younger brother.
Yeah.
I would have loved that a little bit more. Just a slight origins. But the random farmer that comes up and clocks him, I don't care about that.
Yeah, that's the dude you see who puts the pumpkin on the skid.
Yeah, you saw him and you forgot about him, obviously.
Yeah.
That was the shocker at the end of this, but I don't understand why you couldn't have yeeted the cop's body into the hole and just been like, cool, we're good.
Yeah, we're done.
But I don't know. It has to be a young body or whatever. But I'd say 7 is a solid. It's a solid push.
Yeah, so we're not too far off.
We're not too far off,
yeah.
man. But if I had thought that prior to already knowing my rating coming in, I probably would have given it closer to a 6.5, 6.8.
Okay.
But I'm going to stick to my guns on that one. I think you absolutely hit the nail on the head with that, especially the ending there. And then the super cliche, every bit of Psycho, post drive-away scene where it's just a green screen and a fake car. I loved that nod to old school horror. I did. Or just old school cinema in general.
Yeah.
It was definitely the Seinfeld, even earlier than that, but, Psycho, just that, you're in a fucking cut piece of shit.
Turning way too
Wheel
much.
turning, no rear view mirror, fucking green screen behind you. Ends perfectly, based on what I thought they were going for with a period piece.
Yeah.
And to really push the envelope in the late 50s. So I did give it a nod for that.
Cool.
But yeah, I enjoyed the fuck out of this movie.
I did too.
It's unlike anything I'd watched. I didn't realize that I was missing a 50s, 60s piece horror film until now. But
which gives me hope that the mainstream horror movies that come out are not always the cream of the crop and the best you can find.
No, yeah.
But it's the fact that you found this movie.
Yeah.
We watched it and we've enjoyed this more than some more recent movies that have come out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
you guys got to, that's what we're here for. We got to expand our horizons on horror. We have to talk about things that maybe you haven't seen, and maybe we can include this in that what you might have missed series that we were going for a little bit there.
Is this something you watch
and
again?
This one's free. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I would too.
I would watch this again.
I would too.
Definitely.